I had a quick question. On January 27th, 2010, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, visited Auschwitz, the German death camp in Poland. He read from Ezekiel chapter 37. Now, the question is this: why did he read from that chapter, and is there any connection between the Bible and the rebirth of Israel in 1948? Now, before you guys answer, I just want to give you a little background. I'm a premillennial dispensational eschatologist. I'm 57 years old. I've been studying the ancient Hebrew prophets for over 30 years. And my search started when I saw a movie called The Late Great Planet Earth by Hal Lindsey.
Sure.
I got a copy of the book, did the research. Then I did something simple. I started following the news. Now, something interesting happened. My brother and I were very, very excited about this situation because when we started following the news, we started seeing things happen. So what we did is, believe it or not, we wrote a little newspaper. April will be 33 years ago that we wrote it. It's called The Last Trumpet. We just recently reprinted it in 2008 with the economic problems. And through the years, I've been saving a little scrapbook. And I lecture on the subject, and during the lectures, I show people the scrapbook. On the left-hand side, I show them the original article from 1980, and on the right side, I show them an article that came out just recently that says the exact same thing on the exact same subject in the exact same words. Now, when people see the scrapbook, they ask a simple question: Dave, how did you and your brother write this? Now, I'm going to give you an example, just very simple. The lead story in our Last Trumpet is France under a terrorist threat, Japan about to devalue the yen, London banks in trouble with a rating of them. Then we have a massive drought in the Midwest, and et cetera, et cetera. Gold soaring to an all-time high. Now, what happens is we have this comparison book we show people. Like I said, our article on the left-hand side, the other article that came out later on the right-hand side, and people cannot figure out how we wrote it. So what I'd like to do, if you guys have an address, I'd like to mail you a complimentary copy. But what's interesting, I can't change the fact that I did my research for the book, The Late Great Planet Earth,
Speed it up.
Hold on a second. In 1980, and then I started following the news, and what they said was going to happen, I see it every day on the news. Now, I read the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and watch BBC News. So if you gave me a quiz on macroeconomics, Italian bond deals, what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz, I would do really well. And every day I see articles that I knew was going to happen. So that's all. So I'd like to ask you that question about Benjamin Netanyahu, because God did make an eternal promise to the Jewish people that he would give them the land of Israel. Then there's a specific prophecy in Deuteronomy 28 that they'd be scattered to the four corners of the earth, and they'd have trouble all through history, and then God would bring them back to their own land. And to top it off, after he would bring them back in their own land, the entire world would gang up on Israel and try to divide Jerusalem, which, if you notice, is on television.
Okay, let's move on.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you for your commercial.
Okay.
When did you make your first $1 billion in the stock market?
Well,
did you guys want to answer the question? No, I'm sorry.
Why? I don't know why he would want to read that. He might read it because he's convinced that that there's a prophecy that's been interpreted, that has come to pass, as I'm sure you are. But I don't care, because that's not evidence. The fact that somebody is convinced that a particular interpretation has come to pass doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't, even if it was, let's say it was true that there was something written in a book ages and ages ago that actually came to pass. At most, you've demonstrated a remarkable phenomenon for which we do not have an explanation. You cannot assert that the cause for this is that there's a God that is relaying true information.
Yeah, gentlemen, I'm sorry. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I understand. But what's interesting, like I said, I started out with just a question. And keep in mind, I appreciate you guys talking to me about this, because I'm very, very concerned about where the world is headed. And I see these predictions happening. And all I can tell you, the other interesting thing, too, is this. I forgot to mention this, that there's a new monetary system coming where they're going to be doing away with paper currency and going to barcodes and chips.
Good grief. Good.
Good.
Do you not know that people have been interpreting stuff in the Bible to as predictions of things that were happening in their times for thousands of years?
Right.
The same things you're interpreting from the Bible to have significance now were interpreted by people 1,000 years ago to have significance then. You are no more right now than they were then. You are playing Nostradamus with the Bible and making money on it, which is what pisses me off. I think we've had. Can we please get rid of this jack-off who is advertising his book on the show?
No, he just said he's not making money. We can't just assume he's making money. That's unfair. My thing is, you say that they're going to be getting rid of paper money. Okay, so what? Why is that a bad thing?
Well, gentlemen, let me just give you just a 30-second overview.
No more 30-second overviews. I just asked a question. Is that a bad thing?
Oh, I understand. Well, when you read Revelation chapter 13, and he causes...
No, David.
Yeah, it's a bad thing.
David, okay, it's a bad thing.
Okay,
why is it a bad thing?
Well, let's put it this way. It's part of the prophetic scenario that... You've heard the term the Antichrist, guys. You guys are going to be very familiar with that.
Why should we think any of that is true?
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to think it's true.
Okay, bye.